What is going on, guys? Nathan here with another Team Fortress 2 gameplay commentary, here playing a little bit of the heavy on CP Egypt. Honestly, this gameplay is not very YouTube worthy, it's not very good, and it's kind of boring a little bit in my opinion. I'm actually just kind of sitting in a corner a lot of the time because I'm on defense and I'm playing heavy, so that's kind of what heavies do. But yeah, I think I get a total of 4 kills, something like that, which is pretty funny. It's just one of those games where it's so much more relaxing than going try hard. Like, I was just totally brain dead. That would be the word. I was totally brain dead during this match. I was just listening to music, just kind of doing whatever. And that's, you know, those matches happen in TF2, and those are matches I really enjoy where you just don't have to think. You just kind of play the game. And so obviously I'm not going to do as well, but anyway, I wanted to talk about the Natascha Heavy, and actually before I do, one thing I wanted to mention is that Heavy is one of the best classes to play the first-person worldview models. Those are so awesome on Heavy because his minigun takes up a little bit less of your screen, but it looks realistic at the same time, and the fists look way more realistic, and it's just awesome. But yeah, so the Natascha with the Heavy. I made a video a while back thinking or saying that the Natascha was one of the underrated heavy miniguns, which I disagree with more presently, mostly because it has two super cons. Yeah, those are a thing. It has two cons that simply just don't outweigh its pro, or rather its effect, really, which is the slowdown ability. And I would argue that the I think it's 25% slower firing speed and 30% slower spin-up time are just not worth the slowdown effect. The thing is, and I mean this argument has been made before, is that like as a heavy you shouldn't need to slow down your opponent, and people will argue, be like, well yeah, but you can stop a scout that's going to the point. No, you can't. It doesn't work like that. In the long run, the Natascha slowdown effect does not really help that much. The only instance where I could think that it would be relatively useful would be like if you slow down an enemy enough where like a friendly sniper can headshot him or something. But I mean, if we were to ignore rare instances and look at overall, the slowdown ability really does not have that much of an effect. It only comes into effect anyway in relatively close quarters. I mean, long distance, you're not going to be getting that effect whatsoever. And also, I mean, like, 25%, or rather a slower spin-up time. Doesn't really matter the percentage, but like, I could live with a slower spin-up time because there are ways to counteract that perfectly so that you can still have the full damage. For example, the Brass Beast doesn't bother me that much because the spin-up time can be negated simply by being spun up all the time, and yeah, it decreases your mobility, blah blah blah, but I mean, you can negate that easily just by holding right click. But with the Natascha, right, so the spin-up time is not my issue, but the firing speed is really annoying because that pretty much directly translates to a decrease in damage, and damage is definitely something you don't want to be weak on as heavy, or rather any class. I think that applies to pretty much everything. So yeah, definitely the heavy needs all the damage he can get, and the Natascha is not delivering like that. But I mean, the slowdown speed thing for the Natascha is at best, and yeah, the cons are just a little bit too much. I think in my past video I made, I mean, one thing I do like, I have to give this to the Natascha, is that it does have a good, like, sound. It's very quiet, actually, very bassy, which is really nice instead of that whole, like, with the regular minigun. I think that was one of my pros in my last video, or not my last video, my previous video about the Natascha, but overall, I would really disagree with my former self on this one. The Natascha is not an underrated minigun, except for, like, its sound, which even then the Tomislav has a beat there. So, yeah, that is updated opinion on the Natascha. Wow, I did this entire commentary in one take. For those of you who don't record anything, that is super impressive. Like, I cannot say how impressive that is, that you ever record something in one take, like the entire way through. So anyway, Yeah, that's just kind of my opinion, I guess, and that is pretty much the video. I think the entire gameplay is like 10 minutes long, which I'm not gonna leave it up because that's just, I don't think anybody would really watch it at all. So I'm just gonna cut it off. Sorry for not leaving in the ending, but that's how it goes, I guess. So that was the video, guys. Thank you all for watching. As always, please leave a rating on the video if you did enjoy the video, and subscribe for more Team Fortress 2. As always, my name is Nathan, and peace out.